Before I can cover gameplay specific things like energy states, how to dogfight, we have to talk about two different things, two very crucial things, and without these you won't get very far. And these things are your mentality as well as your general knowledge on planes. So who's faster, who can climb better, who can turn better. I can't cover all of that. I however can give you some points on how to discover those things. I'll put the top speeds and the climb rates in the description as well. The climb rates are a bit outdated, so they're not all correct, but the growth of it is. And you might think this is a bit of a boring video, but I really urge you to watch this, as this is very important if you of course are looking to get better. Otherwise you can skip this and you can just go to the next one. Or you can just enjoy another 7 kill game in the background. It's all on you. I'm not gonna force you to do anything. But the support for this series will always be appreciated to get this shown around as much as we can and maybe get a bit better teams in this game. But first things first, we're going to focus on your mentality and the way it might affect your gameplay. If you have a bad mentality, if you tend to blame everyone but yourself, you're not going to improve. You have to blame yourself for things. Even if it's 1v6, you kill 4 of them and you die, you can say, oh, my team is bad. Yeah, it might be the case, your team might be a bit bad. But there are things you could have done wrong. And there's always room for improvement. There's always something in that match you could have done wrong, that you could have done different. And by doing that different, you might have won it. And instead of looking at it like, who I should have won, see it as I could have won. See it as, what should I have done differently? Because at the end of the day, you're the only constant in your team. Everything is going to be different. Unless you're squadding, of course, then you'll have 1 or 2 other people that are also a consistent factor. But at the end of the day, it's all you. And you want to fight with a conscience. And I say that not because I'm trying to be a white knight, but say you're going to run to your airbase and you're going to lose because the AA didn't kill someone. Now, what's the thing you could have done differently? You could have defensive flown a little bit different, but other than that, it's complete RNG if you're going to win or not. So in the end of the day, if you lose, if you die, if you don't succeed by camping AA, could you really have done anything differently? No, because you're relying on something else. If you're fighting yourself, if you're trying to fight 2 people at once, you kill one of them and then you stall yourself out in front of the second guy, you know you shouldn't have stalled yourself out. You know you should have done it differently, because you died to the other guy by not relying on something else. And it's the same problem with grinding. People will go for the easy kills. If you focus on the win, if you focus on trying to just simply win the game, you will get way better at the game, which will net you more RP. Winning will net you more RP. Getting more kills will also net you more RP. In the long run, going for the win is way more beneficial. Whereas going for the easy kills and just trying to get easy RP by going either head on, by going for people that are in a flat spin, people that are on fire, you're not getting better at all. You're just getting quick free RP. And sure, it's in the short, really short term, for you it looks like you're getting more RP. But if you're trying to get better, if you're consistently improving your gameplay, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get a 1 or 2 or maybe 3 kills per game, instead of that 1 every 2 games, because you're just lurking or filtering for that easy one or trying to full commit head on. And in a long session, of course after you start improving a little bit, these wins will start to add up. And even if you kill just a few AA after you secure the win, you can go full commit head on and the first guy you see, you might die. And after you die, you can't get any more kills. You can't improve anymore. You're just climbing, you're going straight, you're going full commit, you're holding mouse click left, and you just wait till you die. And maybe you get a kill with it, maybe you have to RTB because your plane is completely busted. And what do you get out of it? You get free RP, you go back to base, you start climbing again, you head on someone, you maybe die, maybe you get someone. And because all you did that game was go RTB to do head on someone again, is that really fun? People going head on with everyone because they want to grind, to me is someone that gave up. And you don't want to give up in this game. This game becomes extremely tedious, this game becomes extremely boring even, because all you're doing is climbing, waiting for the first guy you see, going full commit head on, dying or getting a kill. Do you enjoy that? I wouldn't enjoy it. I would despise it. I enjoy flying about, killing 1 or 2 guys, maybe having a very good fight. It's way more fun and you learn so much more doing it. It's such a shame that if you waste your time by climbing and heading on, what are you really doing? Are you really playing a game? You might as well go play Cookie Clicker. So that's the first thing. Blame yourself, play for the win, try to get better. And with these 3 things you will get more RP, more fun, and this game will be an absolute breeze to play sometimes. It can still be frustrating, don't get me wrong, but it will be a lot better and a lot less annoying to play. The next thing I want to focus on is knowing your planes. And this is one of the most crucial things in this game. If you don't know the planes, if you don't know how to fight what you're fighting, you're not going to get very far. If you don't know what the enemy plane is good at compared to yours, if you don't know what yours is good at compared to theirs, what are you going to do? Can you make a conscious decision on how to fight them? No. So when you screw it up, when you die to him, do you really know what you did wrong? No, because you have no idea what the enemy plane is capable of. So something I really recommend is grind all the trees tier for tier and not tree for tree. At least in the main trees, the American one, the German one, the British one, the Russian one, the Italian one and the Japanese one. The Swedish one isn't that, well, big, it's very generic. It's a very mediocre plane, so you won't struggle much with them. The Chinese is mostly rip-offs of other nations, except for the CW21, which is completely busted, but you can grind that thing in about, 3-4 games and you have it, so you can try it out, see what it's good at. And for the French one, is also mostly a rip-off of just US planes, so you're not exactly missing out on too much. And I can't give you a rundown on every plane in this game, I don't have the time to do that. Most of you will know most of the planes. If you don't know the plane, fly every tree, as I said. Get used to all the planes, and I will give you a very generic rundown of every tree now, which includes the Americans, they're good at altitude, they're good at going fast. The Germans are very good at climbing and are very good at medium altitudes to high altitudes, and are just energy fighters in a pure sense. The Russians do something better than every nation. One nation they will outrun, one nation they will outclimb, the other nation they will outturn. It depends. It's a very adaptable nation. Unfortunately, they're very bad at high altitudes. Britain at low tiers, they're very bad at high altitude. They climb well, but they kind of start to die around 4 kilometers. And they turn very well, as we all know, the Spitfires and the Hurricanes. At higher tiers, they become monsters at high altitude, and things like the Tempest become absolute speed demons. Japan, we all know them, we all hate them. They turn extremely well, they don't stall out. They climb pretty well, they just suffer from that high altitude performance and are very slow in general. The Italians really like their cannons and they turn a bit worse than a Spitfire, and they climb roughly the same as a 109, but they're a bit slower and they lose a bit more energy in the turns, but they do turn a lot better. The native French planes are, well, not very special. They rely on outflying the enemy plane. You don't really have much of a strength. It's the same with the Chinese. The Chinese is more... Well, it depends on from which nation they ripped that plane off. Made in China, by the way. And the main Swedish planes are a bit like the French, except for the J-32B and the planes like that, and the J-35 Draken coming in. But the other planes are very generic, and you don't really have to know how to fight them, as you can fight them basically any way you want, because they're not very good. They're a bit like the Russians in terms of being a jack of all trades, except they're worse at everything, so they kind of aren't a jack of all trades, but they do everything equally as bad, I guess. In the upcoming video I will showcase energy states, how to read energy states, how to know if you can go up. I will explain at the start of every engagement whether their strength is, what my strength is, to give you a basic understanding, but I will assume you know the growth of it. To summarize all of it, go for the long-term success, go for the win, know your planes, blame yourself, make conscious decisions, and all important, have fun doing it. Don't get frustrated, don't give up, keep trying. You will get there. It's not a very hard game, it's a very slow game, as I said before. You have all the time in the world to think. So learn your planes, know your planes, and keep thinking, most importantly. Before I drop the energy state video, I will focus on 1 or 2 planes, because I can get them out relatively quickly. And this one will take a long time, so I don't want to keep you dry too long. So look forward to that. Thank you all for watching. Keep thinking, and I will see you in the next one.